Welcome to Coins News Daily. Stop scrolling. You might have a hidden treasure sitting in your pocket or old coin jar. These rare Kennedy half dollars are making collectors go crazy, and some people have no idea they're holding a fortune. Don't forget, one small detail can turn a 50-cent coin into a life-changing jackpot. Like, share, and comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Thanks with love for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden treasures. Top 1. We are diving into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins ever released in the United States, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world. This is the legendary 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar, a coin that was created to celebrate 200 years of American independence, yet quietly became one of the most searched and talked about coins in modern collecting. Now imagine this. You are going through old coins at home, maybe coins passed down from your parents or grandparents, and suddenly you find a Kennedy half dollar with the dual date 1776 to 1976. At first, it might seem like just another coin. But what if I told you that some of these coins are worth far more than 50 cents? In fact, certain rare versions have sold for hundreds, even thousands, depending on their condition, composition, and unique minting errors. Let's slow down and really understand what makes this coin so special. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar was issued as part of the United States bicentennial celebration. Instead of the usual eagle on the reverse side, this coin features a beautifully detailed image of Independence Hall. This design alone makes it stand out instantly from other half dollars. It carries history, symbolism, and national pride all in one piece of metal, but here is where things start getting exciting. Not all of these coins are the same. Most of these coins were made for everyday circulation using a copper-nickel clad composition. These are common and still found in circulation today. However, a smaller number were struck in 40% silver, and those coins were never meant for general circulation. They were sold in special collector sets, and that alone increases their value significantly. Now imagine finding a silver version mixed in with regular coins. That is the kind of discovery that makes collectors' hearts race, but we are just getting started. The real magic of this coin lies in its rare minting errors and high-grade specimens. Some coins were struck with double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the minting process. Others show off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even missing details. These errors are not just mistakes. In the world of coin collecting, they are treasures. Think about it. A tiny imperfection during production turns an ordinary coin into something unique, something rare, something valuable. Collectors look for sharp details, especially in the hair of John F. Kennedy and the lines of Independence Hall. Coins with deep, mirror-like surfaces known as proof coins are even more desirable. And when these proof coins are perfectly preserved without scratches or wear, their value can rise dramatically. Another factor that makes a huge difference is the mint mark. Coins from different mints such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco each have their own characteristics. The San Francisco Mint, especially, produced many of the silver-proof versions, making those coins particularly attractive to collectors. Now picture this. Two coins that look almost identical to the untrained eye could have a massive difference in value. One might be worth just its face value, while the other could be worth hundreds. The difference lies in small details that only a careful observer would notice. This is why coin collecting is not just a hobby. It is like a treasure hunt combined with history and art, and there is something else that adds to the mystery. Many people believe that rare versions of these coins are still out there, hidden in old collections, forgotten drawers, or even in circulation. Every time someone checks their coins, there is that small spark of hope that they might find something extraordinary. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where things can change dramatically. Coins are graded on a scale, and those in near perfect condition are incredibly rare. A coin that has never been used, never scratched, and still shines like it just left the mint is called uncirculated. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Some collectors spend years searching for the perfect example of this coin, one with flawless detail and original luster. And when they find it, they are willing to pay a premium. but here is the most important part that everyone wants to know: the real market value depends on all these factors combined. A regular circulated 1776 to 1976 Kennedy $half is usually worth around 50 cents to a few dollars. A 40% silver version can be worth around $10 to $20 depending on silver content and condition. High-quality uncirculated coins can range from $50 to several $100s. Rare error coins or top-grade proof coins have been sold at auction for over $1,000, with exceptional pieces reaching several $1,000s in competitive bidding. So the next time you come across this coin, do not ignore it. Look closely. Check the details. Because you might be holding a small piece of history that is worth far more than you think, and that is the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin has a story. Every detail matters. And sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coin can turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. Top 2. We are diving into a coin that many people overlook, yet it hides a story, a mystery, and in some cases, surprising value. Imagine holding a simple $half in your hand, something that looks ordinary at first glance, but could actually be a rare collectible that serious coin hunters are searching for. This is the fascinating world of the 1983 Kennedy $half, a coin that may not shine with silver, yet shines with rarity and collector demand. The Kennedy $half itself carries deep emotional and historical meaning. First introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy, the coin quickly became one of the most collected coins in United States history. Over the years, its composition changed, its circulation declined, and by the 1980s, it was no longer commonly seen in everyday transactions. That is where our story begins. The 1983 Kennedy $half was minted in Denver at a time when $half were already fading out of regular use. This alone makes it interesting. Fewer people were using them, fewer were saving them, and even fewer were preserving them in perfect condition. But what truly sets this coin apart is not just its limited circulation use, it is the unique combination of low availability in high grade and the presence of certain errors and striking characteristics that make collectors pay close attention. Now listen carefully, because this is where things get exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. Unlike earlier Kennedy $half, the 1983 issues were not included in official mint sets. That means if someone wanted a pristine version of this coin, they had to find it directly from circulation or obtain it in rolls or bags from the bank at the time. Because of this, most 1983 $half you find today show wear, scratches, or weak strikes. Finding one in near-perfect condition is significantly harder than many people realize. When collectors talk about value, condition is everything. A heavily circulated 1983 $half might not seem impressive. But once you start looking at coins with strong details, clean surfaces, and original luster, the rarity begins to reveal itself. Coins graded at the highest levels, especially those with sharp strikes and minimal marks, are extremely desirable. Another key factor that adds to the excitement is minting errors. Error coins are like hidden treasures within the world of numismatics. For the 1983 Kennedy $half, collectors have discovered pieces with double dies, off-center strikes, and even coins with unusual die cracks or clash marks. These errors happen during the minting process and can transform an ordinary coin into something truly unique. Picture this. You are examining a coin under light, slowly rotating it, and suddenly you notice something unusual in the lettering or the date. Maybe the design appears slightly doubled, or the alignment is just a bit off. That moment of discovery is what makes coin collecting so addictive. It is like solving a mystery where every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered. The Denver Mint mark, represented by the small letter D on the coin, is another detail that collectors pay close attention to. Its placement, clarity, and condition can all impact the desirability of the coin. A well-struck mint mark with crisp edges is often preferred over one that appears weak or worn. Now let us talk about why this coin continues to gain attention today. As more collectors begin to understand the scarcity of high-grade examples, demand continues to grow. Many coins from the early 1980s were not preserved with the same care as older silver coins, which means the population of top-quality pieces is limited. This creates competition among collectors, especially those aiming to build complete high-grade sets of Kennedy half dollars, and here is something that makes this even more interesting. Unlike coins made of silver, the 1983 D half dollar does not have intrinsic metal value driving its price. Its worth comes purely from rarity, condition, and collector demand. That means its value is determined by the market of passionate collectors who recognize its true scarcity. If you are a coin lover, this is the kind of coin you should be paying attention to. It might be sitting unnoticed in old collections, bank rolls, or even inherited coin jars. The thrill of finding one in exceptional condition or discovering an rare variety is what keeps collectors searching every single day. Take a moment and imagine the journey of this coin. From the mint in Denver to circulation, passing through countless hands, and eventually ending up in a collection where someone finally recognizes its significance. Every scratch, every mark, every detail tells part of that journey. So next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar, do not ignore it. Look closely. Check the date. Examine the mint mark. Study the details. Because hidden within what seems ordinary could be something extraordinary. Now let us come to the value that everyone is curious about. In circulated condition, the 1983 D Kennedy half dollar is generally worth face value to a few dollars depending on condition. In uncirculated condition, especially coins with strong luster and minimal marks, the value can range from $10 to $50. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can reach into the hundreds. And in rare cases, coins in near-perfect condition with exceptional quality have achieved auction results in the range of several $1,000s. That is the magic of coin collecting. A simple coin, often overlooked, can carry hidden value far beyond what meets the eye. Top 3. We are diving into a coin that many people overlook, yet it holds a quiet mystery that can surprise even experienced collectors. Imagine holding a simple 50-cent piece in your hand, something that feels ordinary, something you might even ignore in your daily change. But what if I told you that one specific version of this coin, the 1986 D Kennedy half dollar, could carry a value far beyond its face value under the right conditions? Stay with me, because this is not just about a coin. This is about history, hidden details, rare errors, and the thrill of discovering something valuable where others see nothing. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964, created to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Over the years, millions upon millions of these coins have been produced, and most of them are still only worth 50 cents. That is exactly why the 1986 D coin is so interesting. At first glance, it looks like any other half dollar, but when you look closer, the story changes. The 1986 D Kennedy half dollar was minted in Denver. The D mint mark tells us that. In that year, production numbers were relatively high, which means that most examples are common. But in coin collecting, rarity is not always about how many were made. It is about how many survive in exceptional condition or with unique characteristics. Now here is where things start to get exciting. Collectors are always searching for coins that stand out. With the 1986 D Kennedy half dollar, there are a few key things that can turn an ordinary coin into something truly valuable. The first and most important factor is condition. Coins that were never circulated, meaning they were never used in everyday transactions, can retain their original mint luster. These are known as uncirculated coins. If you find a 1986 D Kennedy half dollar with sharp details, no scratches, and a bright, original shine, you might be holding something special. Coins graded at the highest levels, especially those with near-perfect surfaces, are extremely difficult to find. Even though millions were made, very few remain in pristine condition today, but condition is only the beginning. Let's talk about errors, because this is where collectors really get excited. Mint errors are accidents that happen during the coin production process, and they can dramatically increase a coin's value. One type of error to look for is a double die. This happens when the coin design is stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. On a 1986 D Kennedy half dollar, this might show up in the word Liberty, the date, or even in the details of Kennedy's profile. These doubled features can sometimes be subtle, so a magnifying glass or microscope can reveal what the naked eye cannot. Another error that collectors love is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being cut off. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can become, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. Then there are clipped planchets. This is when a portion of the coin is missing because the metal blank was improperly cut before being struck. These coins have a distinctive curved missing section and are highly collectible. Die cracks and cuds are also worth mentioning. Over time, the dies used to strike coins can develop cracks. When this happens, those cracks can transfer onto the coin's surface, creating raised lines or blobs of metal. While small cracks might not add much value, larger and more dramatic ones can attract serious interest from collectors. Now imagine combining one of these errors with a coin that is already in near-perfect condition. That is where the real magic happens. Another factor that can make the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar valuable is its strike quality. Some coins are struck more sharply than others, meaning the details are more defined and crisp. Collectors pay close attention to the hairlines on Kennedy's portrait and the eagle on the reverse. Strong, full details can significantly increase desirability. Let's not forget about toning. Over time, coins can develop natural color changes due to exposure to air and the environment. While some people prefer bright, shiny coins, others are drawn to beautifully toned pieces with shades of gold, blue, and even purple. Unique and attractive toning can make a coin stand out and increase its appeal. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually find one of these valuable coins? The truth is, they can still be found in rolls, collections, or even old drawers where coins have been sitting untouched for years. Many people do not realize what they have, which creates an opportunity for those who are willing to look closely and learn. The key is patience and attention to detail. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is hidden in the smallest imperfections. So next time you come across a Kennedy half-dollar, do not just toss it aside. Take a moment to examine it. Look at the date, check the mint mark, study the details, and search for anything unusual. That simple act could lead to an incredible discovery. And now, let's talk about what everyone is waiting for, the value. A regular circulated 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar is typically worth around 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated examples can range from $2 to $10 depending on their condition. High-grade coins in near-perfect condition can reach values between $50 and $150. Exceptional specimens graded at the very top levels have been known to sell for $300 to $500. Error coins with significant and visible mistakes can reach values from $100 to over $1,000 depending on the rarity and demand. That is the fascinating world of coin collecting. Something small, something ordinary, can hold extraordinary value if you know what to look for. So keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, the next coin you find might just change everything. Top 4. We are diving into a fascinating treasure that many people overlook, yet it holds a quiet power in the world of coin collecting. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary at first glance, something you might even spend without a second thought, but in reality it carries a story, rarity, and hidden value that collectors dream about. This is the story of the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that has captured attention not because of age alone, but because of the secrets it can hold. The Kennedy half-dollar itself was first introduced in 1964, created to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Over the decades, this coin became a symbol of American history, circulating widely and then slowly disappearing from everyday use. By the time we reached 1998, most half-dollars were no longer commonly used in daily transactions. This is where things start to get interesting. The 1998 D mint mark tells us this coin was produced at the Denver Mint. At first, millions of these coins were struck, which might make you think they are common and not worth much. And yes, in typical circulated condition, they are not rare. But here is where collectors lean in closer, because rarity in coins is not always about how many were made. It is about how many survive in exceptional condition and whether any unusual characteristics or errors exist. Now imagine a coin fresh off the press, perfectly struck, with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no signs of wear. These are called high-grade coins, and for the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar, finding one in near-perfect condition is surprisingly difficult. Many coins were stored poorly, handled roughly, or simply not preserved with care. So when a pristine example appears, collectors pay attention, but condition alone is not the only factor that can transform this coin into something extraordinary. Errors are where the real excitement begins. Mint errors are like accidents during the coin production process, and they can make a coin unique. For the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar, collectors search for several types of errors. One of the most sought after is the double die error, where the design appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the striking process. This can create a subtle but noticeable doubling effect on the lettering or the portrait. To the untrained eye, it might look like a small blur, but to a collector, it is a sign of rarity. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned when it is struck, resulting in part of the design missing and a blank area on the coin. These coins stand out immediately and are highly collectible because no two are exactly alike. Then there are die cracks and die breaks, where the minting die itself begins to wear or fracture. This can leave raised lines or unusual shapes on the coin's surface, almost like hidden signatures from the minting process. Some collectors specialize in these variations, tracking even the smallest differences. You might be wondering why a modern coin like this can be so valuable. The answer lies in the combination of condition, rarity, and demand. Coin collectors are passionate, and when a specific coin becomes difficult to find in top condition or with unique errors, the competition to own it increases. This drives up its value in auctions and private sales. There is also something deeply satisfying about discovering one of these coins in the wild. Imagine going through a roll of half-dollars, coin by coin, and suddenly spotting a piece with exceptional shine or an unusual detail. That moment of discovery is what keeps collectors searching. Another factor that adds to the allure of the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar is its place in a larger collection. Many collectors aim to complete a full set of Kennedy half-dollars, and finding the best possible example of each year becomes a personal mission. The 1998 D might not be the rarest in terms of mintage, but in top condition or with errors, it can be one of the most challenging pieces to secure. Now let's talk about preservation, because this is crucial. A coin's value can change dramatically depending on how it is stored. Coins that are kept in protective holders, away from moisture and handling, are far more likely to retain their original beauty. On the other hand, coins that are touched frequently or exposed to the elements can lose their luster and develop scratches, reducing their appeal to collectors. Grading is another important aspect. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on their condition and assign them a grade. For the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar, coins graded at the highest levels are extremely desirable. These are the coins that often appear in auctions and attract serious attention, and speaking of auctions, this is where the true value of a coin is revealed. While a standard circulated 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar might only be worth its face value, high-grade examples, and those with notable errors can reach impressive prices. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that stand out, especially when they are certified and authenticated. The thrill of coin collecting is not just about money. It is about history, discovery, and the connection to something bigger. Every coin tells a story, and the 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar is no exception. It represents a moment in time, a piece of craftsmanship, and a potential hidden treasure waiting to be found. So next time you come across a half-dollar, do not dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look. Check the details, examine the surface, and consider the possibility that you might be holding something special. Because in the world of coin collecting, even a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinary. In real market conditions, a typical 1998 D. Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition is worth about $1. In uncirculated high-grade condition, it can range from $20 to over $100. Exceptional graded examples can reach several $100s. Rare error coins or near-perfect specimens have been known to achieve auction values of over $1,000. Top 5. We are diving into one of the most fascinating modern coins that continues to surprise collectors across the world, the 2000 P. Kennedy half-dollar. At first glance, this coin may look ordinary, something you might even overlook in loose change. But if you stay with me, you're going to discover why certain examples of this coin are quietly becoming treasures, and why serious collectors pay close attention whenever one appears. The Kennedy half-dollar itself carries deep historical meaning. First introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, the coin instantly became a symbol of national memory and respect. Over the decades, its silver content changed, its circulation declined, and today it exists mostly as a collector's piece rather than everyday currency. Now fast forward to the year 2000. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark on the coin, produced millions of Kennedy half-dollars. Because of such high mintage, most people assume these coins are common and not worth more than face value. And that's where things get interesting. In coin collecting, rarity is not just about how many were made. It's about how many survive in exceptional condition, and more importantly, how many carry unusual errors or unique characteristics. Let's talk about condition first, because this is where value begins. Most 2000p Kennedy half-dollars were never widely circulated, meaning many remained in mint state. However, finding one that is absolutely flawless is incredibly difficult. We're talking about coins with perfect surfaces, sharp details, and no visible marks even under magnification. These are graded at the highest levels, and collectors compete intensely for them. When a coin reaches an elite grade, it becomes something entirely different. It is no longer just a coin, it becomes a specimen. A perfect or near-perfect 2000p Kennedy half-dollar can stand out among millions, and that alone creates demand, but condition is only one side of the story. The real excitement begins when we explore mint errors, because this is where ordinary coins turn into rare discoveries. One of the most sought-after types of errors is the double die. This happens during the minting process when the design is impressed more than once slightly misaligned. On a 2000p Kennedy half-dollar, this can sometimes be seen in the lettering, especially in Liberty or In God We Trust. To the naked eye it may look subtle, but to collectors, this doubling is a clear sign of uniqueness. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike. Imagine the coin being struck slightly misaligned, leaving part of the design missing and a blank crescent visible. These coins are visually dramatic and instantly recognizable. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the date, the more valuable it becomes. Then we have clipped planchets. This occurs when the metal blank used to create the coin is imperfectly cut, leaving a curved or straight missing section. These coins look unusual and are highly collectible because they reveal a flaw in the production process. Die cracks and cut errors also add to the mystery. Over time, the dies used to strike coins can crack, and when that happens, raised lines or blobs of metal appear on the coin's surface. Each crack is unique, meaning no two coins are exactly alike. Now imagine finding a 2000p Kennedy half-dollar with not just one, but multiple error features combined with high-grade condition. That is the kind of coin that collectors dream about. These are the coins that turn up in auctions and create excitement among buyers. There is also something special about modern coins like this one. Because people often ignore them, rare varieties can go unnoticed for years. This means that valuable coins might still be sitting in collections, bank rolls, or even forgotten drawers. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors searching. Another factor that adds to the appeal of the 2000p Kennedy half-dollar is its role in a changing era. By the year 2000, half-dollars were no longer widely used in everyday transactions. This gives the coin a transitional identity, bridging the gap between circulating currency and collector-focused production. Collectors also appreciate the design itself. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse displays the presidential seal, a powerful symbol of the United States. Even without rarity, the coin carries artistic and historical value, but when rarity meets history, that's when true value is created. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these valuable coins? Always check the mint mark carefully. Examine the surfaces under good lighting. Look closely at the lettering and edges for any signs of doubling or misalignment. And most importantly, never assume a coin is ordinary just because it looks common. Now let's talk about what everyone is waiting for, the real market value and auction potential of this coin. A typical 2000p Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition is worth face value, 50 cents. In uncirculated condition, it can range from $1 to a few dollars depending on quality. High-grade examples can reach values of around $20 to $50, however, coins graded at the very highest levels, especially near-perfect specimens, have sold for several $100s, and when it comes to rare error coins or exceptional pieces, auction prices can rise dramatically, reaching into the range of several $1,000s depending on rarity and demand. So the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar from the year 2000 with a P mint mark, take a closer look. What seems ordinary could be something extraordinary, waiting to be discovered.